What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone's doing well on this Saturday evening. It's absolutely foul weather here in the UK. It's absolutely tipping it down with rain. It's absolutely disgusting. I do apologise for being a couple of minutes late. You always, in these moments, have technical difficulties, don't you? I couldn't get the microphone to work, and then I managed to get it work, and I thought, I don't want to go live without the microphone working. But anyway, do let me know if the microphone is working, because it was being very, very naughty up until this point, guys. But as always, we have an absolutely massive show for you guys tonight, so do get involved in the live chat. Do get some questions in. I will be, doing a bit of a Q&A, getting some chat going on a little bit later on in the chat. So do let me know if you have any questions. So on this evening's show, we've got quite a few topics to get through. We're going to be talking about Amrabat. We've got some news about that. We're going to be talking a bit more about Rasmus Højlund. Again, we've got some news about that. We've got a few stories around other strikers at other clubs. So we're going to be talking about Lukaku. We're going to be talking about Vlahovic. We're going to be talking about a few other strikers. And you'll get the relevance when I talk about it later on. So hold on for that one. And Benjamin Sesko. Because at the end of the day, guys, we need a striker. So it is relevant. What else have we got? There's one thing I wanted to bring up really, really quickly before we start the show, okay? It is exactly 1 month to the day since Rio Ferdinand said this quote, okay? Brace yourselves for this, guys, all right? It's the 1 month anniversary of this quote. So Rio Ferdinand, 1 month ago to this day, said, "We're hearing that Qatar takeover is going to happen within a matter of days, if not hours. I've gotten it from a good source that it's true." That was 1 month ago today. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? It literally is crazy. I remember I was on holiday in Croatia and that clip came out and I literally was going crazy. I was so happy. But yeah, so it's 1 month to the day since Rio Ferdinand said that clip. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely mental. We're also going to be talking about Onana. We've got some updates on that. We've also got some news on the centre-back situation. We're going to be talking about Harry Maguire and who we might be looking at as a replacement for Harry Maguire if he does end up leaving the club. So yeah, we've got loads and loads to get into on this evening's show, guys. So do make sure you smash a like on the video and do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everyone is welcome here, so do get involved. And we will, of course, a bit later on be talking about the big question: will the Glazers sell Manchester United this summer? I've been watching a few videos on a couple of other channels today, and I've been watching. I was watching. I don't know if you guys have watched Webby and O'Neill. That's a really good channel that I like. Two guys who run it, Webby and O'Neill on YouTube. I think they do a really good channel. So I was watching some of their stuff earlier, and yeah, we'll have a little talk about that later on into the show. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. So let's talk about Onana really, really quickly. There's a story that came out earlier on today, guys, that said Onana will travel to Manchester either on Sunday or Monday to complete his move to Manchester United. This is coming out from Italian sources. They're saying that Manchester United are expecting Onana in Manchester either tomorrow or Monday morning. So that's very positive. Obviously, as it stands at the moment, they're currently negotiating the structure of the deal. So that will be how much they pay up front, how much in add-ons, etc., etc. So the deal is closer than close, guys. It is very, 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 very close, I'd say now. Yeah, so guys, they are expecting Onana in Manchester either tomorrow or Monday morning to do a medical. Yeah, very, very positive. Very positive, guys. Very positive indeed. How's everyone feeling about the Onana situation? Has the excitement been dragged out of it for you, or are you still feeling positive about it? I did the video earlier on today, guys. I'm not sure if you saw it, but if not, go and check it out after this video. We did a video about what Onana will bring to Manchester United, and honestly, after doing that, I felt positive again. Literally, go and watch that video afterwards, guys. It's absolutely mental, all of the positives of bringing in Onana. He improves us in so many ways. Like, I genuinely can't think of one thing that De Gea was better than Onana at. And I love De Gea. You saw me on the video when we said De Gea was leaving. I was devastated, but when you actually think about it, there isn't a single thing that David De Gea is better at than Onana. I honestly don't think so. I think they're both as good at shot stopping. Obviously, Onana is elite at distribution, elite with his feet, etc., etc. So I'm feeling very positive about that one. If anybody did miss the Onana video earlier on today, we did a deep dive analysis into what Onana will bring to Manchester United, and I would suggest going to check that one out after this if you are interested. But for anybody joining late, Onana is apparently expected in Manchester either tomorrow morning or Monday morning for a medical. That's what's being reported from sources in Italy. At the moment, they're just negotiating the final bits of the deal. I don't really know what more to say, to be honest with you guys. I'd say that unless something crazy happens, I'd say that Onana will be a Manchester United player by Monday or Tuesday. Big ups to ATTV in the chat saying big up this channel. Big ups to all the regulars. I do appreciate you all. And everybody who is new, I appreciate you as well. Please do like the video, guys, and please do subscribe to the channel. Let's read out a few of your comments really, really quickly. Irvin says, I am bored about this news. Honestly, Irvin, I feel the same. I really, really did. I was led on the sofa earlier on. I was watching the telly and I thought, I just want Onana to happen now. I just want to do that video and just be really positive. Somebody said I look like Darren Gibson. No, I've never heard that before, to be completely honest with you, but okay. Yeah, so I am excited about Onana. That's the general gist of it. I do like David De Gea, but he's going to completely transform the way we play football, guys. He really, really is. No disrespect to David De Gea. I was saying 2 weeks ago we should just keep David De Gea, so I'm definitely not in the David De Gea out club. I like David De Gea and I would have happily kept him for another season if it meant, you know, spending that money on a world-class striker. But I am happy with Onana and I look forward to doing the Here We Go video, hopefully later on tonight. As I said to you guys, I've had the thumbnail for that video ready for about 10 days. I'm literally waiting to do that video. I can't wait to celebrate that moment with you guys. So yeah, welcome Amnat. I hope you're doing well, mate. So for anybody joining in the last few minutes, the story is that Onana apparently will travel to Manchester on Sunday or Monday to conclude his move to Manchester United. That's coming out from sources in Italy. So I do expect we'll have him in the shirt by probably Tuesday, and then he'll be getting on that plane to America. Obviously, we've got a pre-season match on Wednesday, guys, against Lyon, so I doubt he'll be in that game. But then we do play Arsenal this coming Friday. So in 6 days' time, we play Arsenal in, I think it's in San Francisco, maybe? I can't remember. But yeah. And the other thing you've got to remember as well, guys, Bayern Munich are just about to sign Sommer from, Inter Milan are just about to sign Sommer from Bayern Munich. So yeah, I think there'd have to be an absolute miracle for the deal to fall through now, or a disaster. Like unless there's a dodgy fax machine again, or I think it's pretty safe to say he will become a player. They're just, Fabrizio said earlier, guys, that ultimately they're just negotiating the structure of how much they pay now, how much they pay in installments, what the add-ons will be, all the rest of that stuff. So there is a bit of breaking news, actually, guys. I do like it when there's breaking news when we're live. It is always exciting. So this is coming out from an Italian journalist. He's called Alfredo Pedula. He's got 300,000 Twitter followers. He's been quite good around this Onana situation. He says, Inter Milan have been distracted from Onana to Manchester United by the by the Romelu Lukaku situation. Obviously, if anybody is unaware, Inter Milan were trying to buy Romelu Lukaku, right? And then Romelu Lukaku went and started talking to Juventus. I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you? They literally were about to sign him. They've had him on loan for God knows how long. They've put so much trust in him. And then he goes and talks to Juventus. Juventus then put in an offer for Romelu Lukaku. Inter Milan have now pulled out of the deal for Romelu Lukaku. Anyway, it's a complete mess, but we will talk about that later on in the show. So the story goes as follows. This is literally coming in the last minute, guys. It says, Inter Milan have been distracted from Onana to Manchester United because of the Romelu Lukaku situation. They want to give the green light for the Onana deal by tomorrow for 48 to 50 million euros plus add-ons. So what's that in pounds? Let me just check for you guys. Yeah, I mean, it's an absolute bargain, isn't it? It's about 41 million pounds they want. But apparently it's because they were focused on this Lukaku deal. If anybody didn't see about that, it's absolutely mad. They were on the brink of signing Lukaku from Chelsea, and then Lukaku goes and starts talking to Juventus. Honestly, that is mad, isn't it? But yeah, so I do think we'll get the Here We Go. At least in some ways, guys, this tweet that's just come out shows that the delay is actually on Inter Milan's side. It's not on Manchester United's side. The story that's just come out is saying that the reason it's taken so long is because Inter Milan's team have been focusing on bringing Romelu Lukaku to the club. But ultimately, as I just said, that deal's fallen through because Romelu Lukaku is now negotiating with Juventus. An absolute mess. It really, really is. But it is quite good that at least the stories that are coming out are not that the Manchester United have been incompetent. It's you know, it's ultimately because of Inter Milan, not because of Manchester United. So I'm not going to start slagging them off yet. I do expect to see Onana in a Manchester United shirt by Tuesday or Wednesday at the very, very latest. Right, let's read out a few of you guys' comments. What have we got? Jackie says, no, Jackie's not asking a question. Some people are saying some quite funny stuff. Somebody's asking about a Harry Maguire replacement. Yes, we will be talking about that. Somebody says we should put Harry Maguire in goal next season. I would not personally do that, but I quite like it. Somebody else is saying, has Onana left the restaurant? Yeah. So if anybody missed that, Fabrizio Romano posted a picture on Twitter, I think it was on Thursday night, saying, here's a photo of Onana in his favourite restaurant in Milan saying goodbye to everybody, right? This was on Thursday. The rumours is that Onana is still in the restaurant. 2 days later, he thought he was going to be flying to Manchester in a private jet on Thursday, but he's still in the restaurant. Obviously, I'm joking, guys, but yeah, it is absolutely mental, isn't it? But at least this story that's just come out, as I just said, guys, is saying that the delay is actually on Inter Milan side. It's not on Manchester United side. The delay is because Inter Milan have been focusing, focusing ultimately on... on the Romelu Lukaku deal, which has since fallen through. But it does go on to say that Inter Milan want to give the green light for the deal for Onana by tomorrow. So we can expect that one to be done by tomorrow, I think. I know we keep saying that. I know it's very, very close. It's very close, and then it's very, very, very close. But yeah, we've just got to be patient. Right, we've got another question here. This is a good question. Somebody says, Kieran, how do you rate this transfer window so far? That's a great question. Thank you for that. I will echo that back to the chat. So do let me know in the comment section. How would you rate this transfer window so far out of 10? Just to give you a bit of context, as it stands right now, we've signed one player, Mason Mount, for £55 million, and we've sold nobody apart from Zidane Iqbal for 1 million. Well, not even a million, less than a million, which is a disgrace. So as it stands, guys, we've bought Mason Mount for 55 and sold Zidane Iqbal for less than a million. So do let me know in the comment section how you guys would rate the transfer window so far. And obviously I will give my rating to you guys as well now. I would probably say... I'd probably say 2 out of 10, right? 1 out of 10 would be no business at all. But yeah, at this point, I'd say 2 out of 10. But I think it can change. I think it can improve. So I'm not trying to be negative at all. You've asked for my opinion and I've given it 2 out of 10 as of today. But I think if we get Onana, if we get a striker, if we get Mason Mount, etc., and we sell 6 or 7 players, I would say that it could be as high as an 8 out of 10. Okay, I'm feeling positive still. The key for me is getting those people out of the door, because you know that once people start leaving the club, we'll then be able to buy more people. You know, Freds, Alanga, there are plenty of players who can leave the club. All right, I'll give you a really quick list, guys. So the people who I think should leave the club, right? Alanga, McTominay, Fred, Maguire, Bailly, Tellez, Brandon Williams. Who else? That's 7. Donny van de Beek, 8. Dean Henderson, that's 9. There's probably a couple more that I've forgotten, but there's easily 9 or 10 players that need to leave the club this summer without me even being in the slightest bit upset. So yeah, do let me know, guys, how many people do you think should leave the club? Cornish May says, Kieran, have you thought any more about the question regarding not wanting Greenwood, but okay with Qatar? That is a great question, and I do like it when people bring up difficult questions. Yeah, I mean, it's a really difficult question, it is. I've said this is my stance on it, which I've said multiple times before. Okay, I think that the horse has bolted in the UK for Middle Eastern owners. All right, as I've said to you guys on multiple shows before, if you live in the UK, the Middle East, Qatar own a majority share in Sainsbury's. I've got a Sainsbury's at the end of my road. If I need a loaf of bread, if I need some milk or whatever, I go to Sainsbury's. Okay, I'm not in there saying I'm not going to give you my money because of X, Y, and Z. Right? When you actually think about it, it's not like this is the first opportunity for Middle Eastern money to come into the UK. It already is here. Whether you know it or not, just go and do a quick Google search and look at what businesses in the UK have Middle Eastern money, right? So, I mean, it is a difficult question, but my stance on Mason Greenwood isn't going to change, and yeah, it remains the same. It is, and obviously, I appreciate that as a difficult question. I do, but yeah. The Middle Eastern money is already here. You know, Newcastle owned by Saudi Arabia. I'm pretty sure Aston Villa's owned by, is it? I can't remember who it is. But anyway, my point is, guys, Manchester City, Newcastle, you need that kind of money now. So it's not like we're the first club. Manchester City were the club to say, they should have said, no, we don't want Middle Eastern money if that was the stance we were going on. You know, the thing you have to remember as well is the British government and the British royal family would not block this deal. Like the British royal family have a really close relationship with the Qatari royal family. Like, so what I'm trying to say to you is like England and those countries have a really good relationship already. It's not like it is in America where there's this kind of, do you know what I mean? It is different in America. I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah. There would be no issue whatsoever, I don't think, with like the British government or the royal family, etc., with, you know, Manchester United being bought by Qatar. There wouldn't be. Whereas I think if it was a big American club, I think there would be issues. I think the government would get involved. I think, etc., etc. But do let me know what you think about that one. It obviously is a really difficult question for anybody wondering what the hell I'm talking about. So, Cornish Maid had asked, Kieran, have you thought any more about the question regarding why you don't want Greenwood but you're okay with Qatar? I mean, to be honest with you guys, like I would rather have an owner who, you know, like a Sir Jim Ratcliffe or whatever. But at the end of the day, even if you look at someone like that, it's like, what? So you're then bringing somebody to the club who's, you know, got the greenwashing. Like, are you okay with that? I think does anybody know any billionaire who's made their money from some really, like, I don't know. I can't think of an example, guys, but you get my point, don't you? Like all of these billionaires, Amazon, Elon Musk, like all of them have some element of what they do is bad, you know? Right. Anyway, we'll move on from that one. Obviously, that's a really difficult topic to be asked whilst you're live. And I always do and try read out on questions. And, you know, I'm not going to shy away from things. But that's the best answer I can give in this current moment whilst being put on the spot. Right, let's move on to the next story. We've got some news about Amrabat, guys. I know a lot of you in the chat were really, really excited about Amrabat, me included. And unfortunately, there is a slightly negative story that's come out today surrounding Amrabat. So this comes from James Pearce, who writes for The Athletic. He says that Liverpool are considering Amrabat as a replacement for Fabinho if the Brazilian leaves the club. So if anybody's missed what's going on, one of the Saudi Arabian clubs, I can't remember which one, they've put in a £40 million bid for Fabinho. Absolutely crazy. Somebody's offered £40 million in Saudi Arabia for Amrabat. Sorry, not for Amrabat, I'm getting my words mixed up, for Fabinho. And this story coming out from The Athletic today is saying that Liverpool are considering Amrabat as a replacement for Fabinho. I'm not massively worried about this. I do just think that if we want Amrabat, we need to move quickly. I think if we waste too much time, he will go to another club. Barcelona are interested, Bayern are interested. The key thing is here, guys, we need to sell Fred. We need to sell him now. We need to get him out of the club and we need to go and buy Amrabat. That's what needs to happen. Everything boils back to the outgoings. Every bit of issue here is because we don't have the money, okay? We don't have the money because we're not selling players. If we sold the players, we'd have an abundance of money. So all of this boils back to Manchester United's inability to sell players and remove the deadwood. The reason Liverpool are now interested in him is because we haven't bought him. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Like, so we can't really be like, oh, Liverpool are beating us to the race, because at the moment we're not even in the race. We're not making bids. You know, it is very, very frustrating, it is, but it is what it is, isn't it, guys? And I think until people start leaving the club, this is just the situation we're in. And we've just got to take a deep breath. We've got to hope that John Murtough and Richard Arnold do a good job this summer. And we do see all of these names linked to being, you know, leaving the club actually do leave. Because it's one thing them being linked to go. Yeah, we just need them out, because otherwise we're going to miss out on players, guys. We've missed out on too many players. We missed out on Kim Min-jae, Rasmus Højlund. It's like, what's going on with him? PSG is supposedly interested in him. We really need to get people out and bring more people in. That's the key thing here, guys. Lots of you in the chat. We've got over 300 people in the chat today, guys. Massive shouts to everybody. If everybody could smash a like on the video really quickly, that would be really appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Let's see how quickly we can hit that goal. We go live at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. UK time every single day. And if there's ever any breaking news, of course, we go live as well. So do hit the notification bell. Right, let's move on to the next story. I will read out some more questions in a minute, guys. So if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, pop them in the chat and I will read them out in a minute. So yeah, give me a minute and I'll circle back to the chat. Right, so there was a story that came out earlier on today. I wanted to talk about the striker situation really, really quickly, just to give you a bit of clarity about what is going on, because the thing you've got to remember in the transfer window is it's almost like a domino effect. If one player goes somewhere, then it will open the door to somebody going to somewhere else. So as it stands, Lukaku was meant to go to Inter Milan. He's now negotiating with Juventus, right? Vlahovic needs to be sold in order for Lukaku to go. And then also we have Sesko, who was another person we were linked to very, very heavily. There's some news about Sesko that's come out about half an hour ago from Fabrizio Romano. He says, many questions about Benjamin Sesko in the strikers domino, but there's no chance he will leave. Sesko has just joined Red Bull Leipzig from Salzburg and won't leave the club. It would take an astronomical bid to change the plans. So as it stands, guys, when we look at the options that are actually available, Sesko doesn't seem to be an option. Vlahovic, I think, is an option, but we don't seem to be interested in. When you actually then boil it down, there's Rasmus Højlund, who apparently they want 85 million for, and PSG are also interested in. There's Kolo Muani, who I think is a good player and is a good option. There's Gonçalo Ramos, and then there's Taremi from Porto. Those are the only 4 realistic options at the moment. As I said, I would have gone for Harry Kane, but that's me just living in dreamland. But I shouldn't be living in dreamland. If we sell the players, we could bring in Harry Kane easy. We really, really could. So yeah, you know my stance on this, guys. We keep being told that there's financial fair play, there's all these restrictions, and we don't have the money and all the rest of it. It's like, you've got 150 million pounds of players there that Erik ten Hag doesn't want. So you can't tell me that there isn't the money. There is plenty of money there. You can go and get it done, right? You can sell those players. You can sell Fred. You can sell Henderson. You can sell Maguire. You can sell McTominay. And then your budget increases by what, 100, 150 million? So I'm sick of hearing it's all coming from the mainstream journalists saying, because of financial fair play, Manchester United could only buy 2 players this summer. That's just complete rubbish. Manchester United could only buy 2 players this summer because the people who work there are incompetent and unable to actually sell any of the players, because I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. It is so confusing. And I would love to see an Amazon Prime documentary about us, because I'd love to see how these people are working. I would love to be proved wrong. I'd love to see a video of them all sat there saying the same conversations we're having, saying, right, Telles buy McTominay, Dean Henderson, etc., etc. They all need to go. If we sell those players, we can raise 150 million, and then we can go and get Erik ten Hag as dream striker. Like, what is actually going on in these conversations, very, very confusing. But it is what it is, isn't it? We can only, try and stay positive. Right, I'm going to read out a few of your chants. Yeah, as Maup says, there's no chance with Sesko. Like, we were linked so heavily to Benjamin Sesko last summer, weren't we? That was kind of our Rasmus Højlund of last summer, wasn't it? Do you remember, guys? Flashback to last summer. It was Benjamin Sesko, Benjamin Sesko, Benjamin Sesko. All we were hearing about was Benjamin Sesko. All of us were getting excited, saying, "Oh, I can't wait for Benjamin Sesko." And then he ends up going to what's it called? He went to Salzburg, didn't he? Anybody asking about the Amrabat setback? So in relation to Amrabat, guys, there's a story coming out from The Athletic today saying that Liverpool are considering Amrabat as a replacement for Fabinho. Anybody who's unaware, Fabinho looks like he's going to move to Saudi Arabia for £40 million. So yeah, anyway, that's that. But let's just try and stay positive, guys. I like to be positive on this channel. But I would love to see an Amazon Prime documentary about Manchester United. I really, really would. I would absolutely love that. Let me know in the comment section if you think it would be a good idea to see an Amazon Prime documentary about United. I mean, how has that not happened yet? I mean, it's kind of obvious, because the only reason that wouldn't happen is because they were too scared to show people what's actually going on inside the club. Like, there is no reason why Manchester United wouldn't have done an Amazon Prime documentary. That's easy money for the Glazers. I don't know how much they pay for these Amazon. Let me have a look, see. So give me 1 second, guys. Smash a like on the video whilst I check this. How much? Those Amazon Prime things were great. They really, really were. They were so good. I loved watching them, and I don't obviously support Arsenal. So Arsenal, right, got paid £10 million by Amazon to do this Amazon Prime documentary. I mean, £10 million. Like, why have we not done that? The only reason is because they obviously don't want people to see what's going on behind the scenes. Like, the Glazers like money, and that's probably the easiest £10 million you could ever make in your life, isn't it? But yeah, I love those Amazon Prime things, and I would love to see, they did it with Spurs as well. They did it with Manchester City. They've done it Manchester City, Spurs, and Arsenal, and they haven't done one with Manchester United. We would get paid way more than Arsenal to do it. I guarantee you that. We'd probably get 15, 20 million to do one of those documentaries. So I don't know why that hasn't happened, but I would love to be a fly on the wall and to actually see what's going on behind the scenes. The only reason maybe it will happen in the next couple of years when everything kind of steadies a bit. I kind of get why they hadn't done it last season. Imagine with Ollie there and Ralph Ragnick, it would have been an absolute joke, wouldn't it? But yeah, that's just me going off on a rant, guys. Obviously, I would like to see that, but we'll have to wait and see. Just, yeah, so let's talk about the centre-back situation quickly. Anybody who is unaware, all of the first-team players, so Maguire, Bruno, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, etc., they all reported to Carrington today for the start of the pre-season. Obviously, they didn't they were on holiday until now because they were playing as internationals, but all of them are back. So, you've got Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, etc., etc. They're all back now, Casemiro. So we are expecting Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag, to be having those meetings with all those players, with your Scott McTominays, with your Harry Maguires, to discuss their future and to see what their plans are for the future. Because obviously, Harry Maguire, he probably doesn't have a place at Manchester United, does he, realistically? That is probably what he's going to be told by Eric Ten Hag. And everyone's saying, why have we not sold Maguire? Why have we not done this? They're all on their holiday. They've all been on holiday till today, but they are now back today at Carrington, and we are expecting those meetings to happen. And you would expect those meetings to happen before they go on the pre-season tour plane to America. Just back to the Liverpool situation, Fabinho looks like he's going to move to Saudi Arabia. He's not going on the pre-season tour. Anybody who's potentially leaving the club, Tellez, Bailly, Dean Henderson, all of these people should not be going on that plane. They should be staying in Manchester and they should be waiting until they find out what's going on. This is a good question somebody's just put in the chat. So Kelvin says, would you keep or sell Brandon Williams? I'll echo that back. So do let me know in the comment section. Would you keep or sell Brandon Williams at Manchester United? I mean, it depends how much for. I mean, you'd probably get, 5 million for Brandon Williams? Yeah, I would sell him. I would. He hasn't really ever showed me anything. Do let me know in the comments. Do let me know in the comment section, guys. Would you sell Brandon Williams this summer? I personally would. I don't really see a future for him at Manchester United. I think he's an all right player. I think he'd suit a Norwich, a Bournemouth, Southampton, one of those types of clubs. I think he'd probably get in the team. But other than that, I would not bother, to be completely honest with you. I'd get rid of him. Right. Welcome everybody joining in the last few minutes, guys. We've got over 350 people watching today, which is absolutely incredible. So anybody who is new, please do subscribe to the channel, and then please do jump in the live chat once you've subscribed, and please do smash a like on the video. Do let me know what you think about Brandon Williams in the comment section. Would you sell him? I personally would. I would sell Elanga as well. They're not bad footballers, guys. They're not. I'm not going to sit here and slag them off. I'm not going to be negative about them, but I don't think they're good enough to be starting for Manchester United every single week, personally, for me. And I think now you've got Malacia, you've got Luke Shaw, you've got Dallo who can play there. I would just let him go. I would. I know he's a youth player and all the rest of it, but I think we need to stop holding on to this whole youth player thing. If you're worried about the homegrown quota, then, promote some of the actual youth players. Give Aronson a go. Give people like Charlie McNeil a go. Like, we've got so many players in our youth academy that I keep hearing positive things about. So what's the point in having Brandon Williams in your Premier League team sheet? If he's never going to play, just sell him and give Charlie McNeil a go, or give Fernandez, that I think he's Spanish, the left back. There's so many exciting youth players in the under-21s who would love to get into that team. I just think that people like Brandon Williams and Elanga, they've had their chance. They weren't terrible, but they're never going to actually make it. So I would just, let them go at this point, personally. But do let me know what you think about that one. I really do want to see some youth players in the under-21s getting a chance next season, even if it's just on the bench. Like, I'd love to see that left-back Fernandez. I'd love to see that Aronson guy get a chance, Charlie McNeil. There's 2 or 3 players in the youth squad who I would happily say they should take Elanga, Brandon Williams' place, because they're never going to make it as a Manchester United player. So sell them on, get some money for them, and then promote some of the youth players. Why not? They're hungry, they want to win. People like Elanga, like, hats off to them. They've been making good money for a while now. They already think they're, big footballers. They've played in the Champions League. They've played 30, 40 matches for Manchester United. Like, I don't want to say they don't need to prove themselves, but they kind of think that they're already permanent members of the squad. Do you know what I mean? Like Brandon Williams. When was the last time he played? So anyway, I would get rid of all of those players. And anybody who says, oh, the homegrown quota thing, I just told you, just promote some players from the under-21s. Give them a chance. Problem solved. You make some money, which goes into your transfer budget. It allows you to actually buy people Eric Ten Hag wants then. And you're opening the way for these new young players to come through. Your Aronsons, your Fernandez, the left back, even people like Will Fish, the centre back, Charlie McNeil. We've got probably 3 or 4 people in those under-21s who I really do feel deserve a chance over people like Elanga and Brandon Williams. So that's my opinion on it. But do let me know what you think in the comment section. Somebody's asking how long we've got left. We've got 30 minutes left of the stream, guys. So yeah, 30 minutes left. We've got loads more to get into. So if you haven't liked the video yet, please do smash a like on the video, and please do subscribe. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, guys. We hit 4K today. So let's see how quickly we can achieve that new target. We only started the channel about 4 or 5 weeks, guys, and honestly, the support every day. I love doing these shows with you, so massive shouts to you. And if you are new, do get involved in the community. We've got a really, really nice community here. We have great chats. I try and be positive. I'm not an overly negative person generally. So yeah, it's not, you know, unless something really bad happens, I usually try and be quite positive because that's just how I am as a person outside of the internet. So anyway, let's move on to the next story. Enough of my rambling. Anybody who's joining late and thinking, what the hell's going on with Onana? Where is he? The situation with Onana is as follows. It's being reported in Italy. Somebody's asking in the chat what's going on with the Onana deal. So I will give you the update on Onana now. Fabrizio Romano came out earlier saying that that ultimately they're negotiating the structure of it. So it'll be how much they pay up front, what the add-ons are, whether it's, you know, if he plays 100 matches, you give him 1 million, etc., etc. That's what's being negotiated at the moment. And since we've been live in the last 30 minutes, there's a new story that's come out. We reported it whilst it was breaking, but it's about 25 minutes old now. So the story was as follows. Inter Milan have been distracted from Onana to Manchester United because of the Romelu Lukaku situation. If anybody is unaware of that, they were trying to buy Lukaku off Chelsea. They put in 2 or 3 bids. They were on the brink of signing him, and then Juventus have entered the race, and now Lukaku's talking to Juventus. I know, absolutely crazy. But anyway, so they go on to say that they Inter Milan want to give the green light for the Onana deal for tomorrow for a deal of 48 to 50 million euros plus add-ons. So what's been holding it up is actually on the Inter Milan side. It's not on the Manchester United side. That's what's being reported. So yeah, hopefully that is true because I don't know. Anyway, welcome everybody's just joined in the last few minutes. Lots of new people in the chat. Thank you, Eric, for the kind message. And yeah, at the end of the day, guys, we're still very new to this. We're still learning. We're still, you know, working out what kind of content you like. And yeah, I always will try and interact with people. And, you know, this is a place for everybody to come, to get their opinion, to let out some stress, let out some anger. So yeah, I hope you do enjoy it. I do think we'll get the Here We Go either tonight or tomorrow. Inter Milan are on the brink of signing Sommer from Bayern Munich. So they've already got a replacement lined up. There's another story that's just come out in the kind of last hour or so saying that Onana will land in Manchester either tomorrow or Monday for his medical. So unless something absolutely terrible happens, I would say that this is a done deal, to be completely honest with you. Obviously, that's just my opinion. I'm not getting that from Fabrizio Romano or whatever, but I would be very, very surprised if this deal falls through now. There is a bit of a story on the backup goalkeeper as well, guys. There is this young Suzuki fella from Japan, 20 years of age. Manchester United are currently negotiating with him over personal terms, and it does look like he will be our new backup goalkeeper, guys. His name's Zion Suzuki. He's 20 years of age. From what I've seen of him, he looks like a very similar profile to Onana. Very good with his feet, good at distribution. Available for only £5 million, reportedly. Obviously, he would love the move to Manchester United. He's going from the Japanese league to Manchester United, the best team in the world. So he would obviously welcome that move. That then paves the way for Dean Henderson to leave and Tom Heaton to leave. So it's a very positive one, guys. Obviously, Dean Henderson will get about 25-30 million for. And Tom Heaton, I don't know how much we'll get for him. Maybe 500 grand, not very much. So yeah, it does look like we will get 2 new goalkeepers this summer, guys. I mean, who'd have thought it? 2 new goalkeepers in Erik ten Hag's first kind of full, well, I guess he had last summer, but anyway, 2 new goalkeepers, very exciting. Somebody's asking about what about Matej Kovar? I'm not too sure about him, guys. I really, really like the look of him, I do, but it does look like maybe he will, I mean, he could be the 3rd choice goalkeeper. I'm not too sure, guys. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. But maybe Ten Hag doesn't fancy him. We don't know. Maybe he doesn't like the look of him. We honestly just don't know. But at this point, I trust everything that Ten Hag is doing. I think he's earned that trust. If he thinks this Zion Suzuki guy, who I've never heard of, is good enough to be the backup, and he's, you know, someone who's going to, you know, develop and grow into this world-class goalkeeper, then I'm here for it. Because when was the last time we signed a young player for a really cheap price? Yeah, it was a very long time ago. So yeah, somebody's saying it's quite depressing watching Declan Rice sign for Arsenal. Would have been a great signing. Yeah, it is, isn't it? But at the end of the day, guys, they've spent £105 million on Declan Rice. There is absolutely no way on this earth that Declan Rice is worth £105 million with 1 year left on his contract. That is absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, in my opinion, that is crazy money. 105 million with 1 year left on his deal. That is mental. I see loads of people on Twitter today, Man United fans, putting up, if you compare the stats, right, between McTominay and Declan Rice has actually got better stats than McTominay. Sorry, McTominay has better stats than Declan Rice. So I've just seen loads of United fans today trolling Arsenal fans on Twitter saying McTominay actually does have better stats than Declan Rice, which is absolutely hilarious, isn't it? But anyway, £105 million. Manchester United were never in that race. There was no way on earth we were going to pay that kind of money. I hope he does well for Arsenal. I hope, well, I don't really, but you know what I mean. Like, to be honest, I don't hope he does well. I hope he flops. Anyway, that's me being negative. I can be negative about other teams. How about that, guys? I'll try and be positive about Manchester United. But if we're talking about rivals players, I hope Declan Rice flops, and I hope we can laugh at Arsenal fans for the ridiculous amount of money they've just spent on him. Yeah, so this is a good take. Somebody says Mason Mount is a better buy than Declan Rice. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that take. I would probably agree. I would. Mason Mount, £55 million. He's younger. He's won Champions Leagues. I would say Mason Mount's better than Declan Rice. Obviously, they have different qualities, so it's not a direct comparison. But I genuinely would rather Mason Mount for 55 million than Declan Rice for 105 million any day of the week. Not even a thought in my head would make me want to swap that. If you could say, this is a good question, right? If at the beginning of the transfer window, I asked you, right, you could either sign Mason Mount for 55 million or you could sign Declan Rice for 105 million. Which would you go for? Let me know in the comment section. I would go with Mason Mount 100% any day of the week. Yeah, and then if you think about Havertz, they just paid 60 odd million for Havertz. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He had 1 year left on his deal and they paid 109 million, 105. Ridiculous. All right, so Kelvin's got a good question here. Kelvin says, who would you play as the right back, Dalot or Aaron Wan-Bissaka? That's such a difficult question because they both pose different qualities. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think, honestly, is the best defender in the world in 1v1 situations. He's unbelievable. But Dalot is better going forward. I would go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka personally. I think he's a better player than Dalot at this point. But the thing you've got to remember with Dalot is he's still quite young, isn't he? Is he 22, 23? I mean, Dalot's 24 now. He's not even young anymore. I always thought Dalot was like 19, 20 for some reason. Wan-Bissaka's only 25. I would say go with Wan-Bissaka, but I do like how Erik ten Hag changes it up. Like, there was quite a few games last season where Wan-Bissaka would start and then at half time he'd bring in Dalot. And it never was because one of them was playing bad. I think it was just a tactical change. So I think we've got a really good situation there. We've got one centre back, one right back who's an elite defender, Wan-Bissaka, pretty much impossible to get past. And then we've got Dalot, who's a different profile. So I actually think it's quite positive. But do let me know in the comments section, who would you prefer as the right back next season? Would you go for Dalot or Wan-Bissaka? I would go with Wan-Bissaka, but I like Dalot as well. So it's a difficult one. It's not a really, really obvious decision, to be completely honest with you, but do let me know. Yeah, so this is the positivity about Declan Rice going to Arsenal, guys. There is a story floating around that West Ham are going to put in a bid for McTominay. We spoke about this multiple times on the channel, and apparently West Ham are very, very interested in McTominay. As you know, guys, David Moyes is a massive fan of McTominay. They've just got £105 million. Yeah, so I think they will put in a bid for him. We've got some more news about Onana. So this is breaking literally in the last minute, guys. This is coming out from Sky Sports on the Onana deal. It says Onana to Manchester United deal only has the player's contract details left, and the last okay from Onana is missing. 50 million euros plus bonuses will be the fee. White smoke possible on Monday. I'm not sure what that means. It's obviously an Italian journalist, but so at the moment, guys, it's just the contract, which we've already been told has been kind of agreed. Technically, you're not allowed to speak to the player until the two teams have agreed, but obviously they have. So, yeah, that's what's being reported in the last couple of minutes, guys, that the deal is ultimately done on the club side. It'll be £50 million, 50 million euros, which is £43 million plus add-ons. I reckon he'll fly to Manchester on Monday, guys. I reckon we'll see him at Carrington doing his medical on Monday. So, yeah, that's a really positive one. I just can't wait to stop talking about him, to be honest. I want to just be talking about what he's going to bring to the club and all the rest of it. But yeah, that's coming out from Sky Sports saying that Manchester United are now just working on the final details of his contract. The fee will be 50 million euros plus bonuses. The green light is expected on Monday. So we could get the here we go tonight, guys. We could. From what they're reporting, it seems that the only thing that is left to do here is the contract between the players. So apparently white smoke means when a new pope is elected, meaning deal done on Monday. Okay, cool. Thanks for clarifying. So yeah, guys, we're very, 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 very close now, guys. Tomorrow when we do a next video, it'll be 8 varies. Oh, it is mad, isn't it? It is mental being a Manchester United fan. It really, really is. It is a roller coaster. But anyway, let's go back to McTominay. As I said, McTominay looks like he's going to have a bid coming in from West Ham. That's what's being reported. Obviously, they were waiting for the money from Declan Rice that they now have. And I think he'd be a great replacement. I really, really do. There's multiple different journalists saying that West Ham are looking at him. So I do hope that one will go over the line. We've got our first super chat of the day today, guys. If anybody does want to do a super chat, obviously it really does help support the channel. You can just click the $sign and yeah, that would be much appreciated. So we've got one from JE saying, Mason Mount and Rice are the same age. Second, Rice has 2 years left on his contract, not 1. Thanks for the super chat. I thought it was 1 year left, but I do apologise if I got that wrong. Let me check. Declan Rice contract, West Ham. I always thought Declan Rice was older than Mason Mount. I thought he was like 26. So I do apologise, guys. Declan Rice and Mason Mount are the same age, and Declan Rice apparently only had 2 years left on his contract, not 1. The thing with Declan Rice, though, what you have to remember is, even after the Europa League final, the Europa Conference League final, whatever it was, the owner of West Ham was on TalkSport the morning after, and they asked him about Declan Rice, and he said, we agreed with him last season that he'd stay for 1 more season and he would be sold this season. So there was already kind of a gentleman's agreement, whatever you want to call it, that Declan Rice would leave this summer. Yeah, so I don't know. At the end of the day, guys, I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy for Arsenal, but it is a ridiculous amount of money. But if it does work for them, then fair enough. I know it is till 2024, guys. It says Rice's contract is set to expire in the summer of 2024. However, the Hammers have an option to extend by a further year. So yeah, it was 1 or 2 years. Anyway, we move on. I digress. Right, let's read out a few more of your chats. Somebody asking about Anthony Martial. Unfortunately, whoever asked about that, Anthony Martial is not going to be leaving the club this summer. I can almost guarantee it. Martial will be a Manchester United player next summer. Sorry, this year. He has 1 year left on his deal. He's on, I think, 250 grand a week. He's injury prone. There is no way on earth he will leave this summer. It won't happen. So Kelvin says, are you bothered about the fact that we've got no striker at the moment going into pre-season? Yes, of course I am. Guys, I'm so bothered about that. I'm devastated. I am. To think we don't have a single striker in our team is honestly, it's crazy. It is so mental, it is. But honestly, I'd drive myself crazy if I kept thinking about it. But yeah, so frustrating. But we've just got to hope that this week they kick their asses into gear and they go and buy a striker, because to go on that pre-season tour with no striker at all is completely unacceptable. I do hope that as soon as this Onana happens... So Irvin says, do you think West Ham will come in with an offer for Scott and Harry Maguire? I think they'll come in for Scott. I don't know if they'll come in for Maguire, to be completely honest with you. The thing you've got to remember with McTominay is, okay, his wages are really low compared to like Harry Maguire. Scott McTominay is only on £60,000 per week. Obviously that sounds like a lot to us, but when you think that Harry Maguire is on £200,000 a week, right? I've said to you guys before, West Ham's highest earning player is Lucas Paqueta, who's on 150k a week, right? McTominay's only on 60 grand a week at Manchester United. So he is an easy player to sell, because if he moves to West Ham, he's probably going to get a pay rise. He'll probably earn 80 grand a week. So it's a win-win for him. Whereas Harry Maguire's on 200, you know, he's going to have to take a pay decrease. So that's what makes it difficult. But I do think that West Ham and McTominay is written in the stars. I really do. There was a report coming out yesterday that West Ham had submitted a bid for Amrabat. And apparently Amrabat had rejected the move because he ultimately wants to move to a bigger club, a Manchester United, a Bayern, a Liverpool. There's all these big clubs circling for Amrabat, and he didn't want to move to West Ham because he didn't see they were, you know, big enough for his ambitions, which I think is pretty fair enough. Like, Fiorentina to West Ham is not really a massive upgrade, is it? Like, obviously I know it's Premier League, which is an upgrade, but overall, is Fiorentina to West Ham like a huge stepping stone? Not really. Probably is a little bit, but yeah. Fiorentina to Manchester United, that's huge. So yeah, I do think that McTominay is more of a realistic option for West Ham at the end of the day, guys. Like, I don't think they'll get Amrabat, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, so as the Hennessy says, I completely agree with this. Nobody in their right mind is buying Martial. The striker situation is horrific. We're worse off than we were a few months ago with Weghorst. I mean, that's a damning thought, isn't it? To think that we actually were better off without Weghorst. And he was rubbish. Like, yeah, I don't know. You never know, guys. Maybe Anthony Martial will come good this season, you know? We've just got this new doctor who's apparently one of the best in the world. Was at Arsenal before. Maybe this new doctor will work some absolute magic on Scott McTominay and we'll have... sorry, not Scott McTominay, Anthony Martial. It's very unlikely, but you never know, do you? Right, let's have a look how we're doing for time. We've got 15 minutes left of the show, guys, so anybody who hasn't liked the video yet, please do smash a like on the video. I will read out some more of your questions as well a little bit later on into the show, so do put the letter Q in front of your question and I will try and read out as many as possible. What does everyone think about Gravenberch, by the way? Is that somebody who you would be interested in? If you had to pick between Gravenberch and Amrabat, who would you go for and why? Let me know in the comment section. Because there is a bit of a story coming out about Gravenberch. It's coming out from Fabrizio Romano saying that Gravenberch had an unsacked... sorry, this is a direct quote from Thomas Tuchel, obviously the Bayern Munich manager, saying that they both have contracts with us. Ryan is the challenger role. He has to get the best out of his role. I'm not really sure what that means. Ultimately, I think Goretzka and Gravenberch are a little bit unsure about whether they'll stay at the club, aren't they? And that might be why they're linked to Amrabat. I don't know who I'd pick between the two. I've seen way more of Amrabat than I have of Gravenberch. Somebody saying, what's happening with Donny van de Beek? Donny van de Beek, I think, will be sold this summer, guys. I do. Fabrizio Romano reported a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, saying that there was about 10 clubs in Europe interested in him. I think Donny will get his move. I think, obviously, him and Ten Hag have such a good relationship that they will do what they can to get him out of the club. It hasn't worked for Donny, and I do wish him all the best, and I hope he can go on and still have a good career somewhere else, because he came in with such high expectations and it just hasn't worked for him, has it? Somebody's asking about Tchouaméni. We're not going to get Tchouaméni, guys. I think Arsenal are linked to Tchouaméni. I mean, how much would Tchouaméni cost? £80 million? There's no way on earth we're going to get Tchouaméni. We're about to spend 40 million on a goalkeeper. We don't have a striker. There is no way on earth we're going to get Tchouaméni, unfortunately. As much as I would love that to happen. All right, this is a great question. I'm going to echo this back to the comment section, so do also get involved in this one. Somebody says, if we only get Onana and a striker, where do you think we will finish in the table next season? That is a great question. Thank you for your input on the chat today. So I will ask everybody that as well. If we only get Onana and a striker in this transfer window, where do you think we'll finish in the league next season? So that would be a transfer window of Onana, Mason Mount, and a striker, say Rasmus Højlund. I think we'll get fourth, I reckon, with that. To be honest with you, we're not going to win the title with just buying those three players. Not a hope in hell. When you think Arsenal finished second and they've just bought Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Jurrien Timber, and they're still going to buy more players apparently. I think fourth is realistic with that team. You've got to remember Liverpool are going to come back stronger. Chelsea will, Newcastle will, Aston Villa. Aston Villa are making moves, guys. They've just bought Pau Torres. And they're about to buy Moussa Diaby. I would honestly say, at this point, Aston Villa have had a better transfer window than us. Genuinely. They're about to buy Moussa Diaby, who is an absolutely unbelievable player, obviously from the Bundesliga. And they've already bought Pau Torres, who's somebody we were linked to for God knows how many years. So, as it stands, Aston Villa have had a better window than us. Obviously, things can change. But yeah, my point is we will be battling for fourth, I think, at the moment. Right, so people saying fifth, sixth, third or fourth. Yeah, it's mixed opinions. Do let me know in the comment section, where do you think we will finish if we only sign Rasmus Højlund, Onana and Mason Mount? And I mean, there's no guarantee that we'll even do that. We might not even get Rasmus Højlund. I will do a proper video closer to the season starting where I do a proper season prediction, and we'll do it as an interactive one. So everybody, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I'll do it as an interactive one where I'll get everybody to tell me where we finish and how many points. It'll be something like that. It'll be, where do we finish, how many points, and do we win a trophy and which one? And whoever gets it right will win some sort of prize. I haven't worked out what the prize will be yet, guys, but if anybody has any suggestions, maybe, I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. Maybe a ticket for a match at Old Trafford. I don't know. I'll think of something good for you guys. So yeah, we'll do that closer to the season. It'll be like a live video, and I'll ask everybody. I'll give my season prediction, how many points we're going to get, where we're going to finish, and maybe what trophy we'll win, if any. And whoever wins or whoever gets the closest will get some sort of prize, which we will decide on closer to the time. We've got over 350 people in the chat today, guys. Absolutely incredible. Really, really positive. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. And if you are not new to the channel, then please do hit the like button. Somebody's asking to do a poll about Mason Greenwood. I'm not really up for doing a poll about Mason Greenwood, to be honest with you. I've said what I think about Mason Greenwood multiple times before. At the end of the day, guys, it's not up to us what happens with Mason Greenwood. So I get why you've asked to do a poll, but I don't know. I'm not going to do it. So yeah. Obviously, we have to wait and see what happens with Mason Greenwood. All right, it's not really up to me or to you to decide, and I don't really see how a poll is going to kind of benefit the situation. It just causes hate in the chat. It causes people to disagree and to argue, and I don't want this channel to be that. I want to try and unite the fans. I don't want it to be some people want Mason Greenwood, other people don't, and then them arguing. Chris says, you do realise as long as tickets are sold, stadiums are full, there's no incentive for the Glazers to leave. Unfortunately, guys, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but even if every person who has a season ticket for Manchester United gets rid of their season ticket, there's going to be God knows how many people waiting, right? Even if people protest, like the Glazers don't care. The Glazers do not care. Let's talk about that really quickly. That's we've crossed into that part of the show really well. So thank you for that question. As I said, I was watching a really good live show earlier on. It was called Webby and O'Neill on YouTube. They're really, really good. And they were talking about the takeover, and a lot of what they said did kind of resonate with me. Like, these are season ticket holders who go to every single game. I'm not saying they're better fans than me or you, but just to give context, they go to every single game. They've got they got a season ticket, and they were just saying ultimately that like the protesting it's important because you are letting your voice be heard, and you're kind of getting out anger and all the rest of it. Oh. But other than for your own personal kind of mental health, like, the protesting isn't going to really make a huge difference with the Glazers. Like, you know what they're like. They don't care. They really, really don't. So yeah, I don't want to be negative, but I kind of do agree with the opinion that they had. It is difficult to predict what we can do to actually hit the Glazers. I seen some people on Twitter earlier. I mean, this was hilarious. So the Glazers own this golf course, I think in the Glazers own this golf course somewhere in America, yeah? And somebody on Twitter got this thing trending where they were getting people to leave reviews, like 1-star reviews. Like, there's stuff like that, which is like pretty funny on this Glazer-owned golf course. But at the end of the day, like, it probably doesn't really make any difference, to be completely honest with you. Like, all of those reviews will probably get banned for being fake, because obviously the people were saying, like, they've destroyed our football club on this review of a golf course, you know? Yeah, so anyway, I thought it was funny anyway. Like, some of the reviews people were coming out with was so if yeah. Harris says, can you give some memberships? You said you would at 4K. So what I said was if we hit 4K on that video a couple of days ago, then I would give out some memberships, and we didn't hit 4K on that video. We only hit it like 10 o'clock this morning, 2 days after that video. So that was what I said. It was kind of an incentive to get because we were close to the target and we didn't hit it. But yeah, I did. That was my wording. So if you want to go back and check out the wording of what I said, then obviously you're more than welcome to do that. I think it was 2 days ago. Somebody's saying, how much do you rate Harry Maguire as the possible striker for Manchester United? We heard Erik ten Hag praises him. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. He's good at heading. He's tall. I think Harry Maguire as a striker could be... No, I'm joking, guys. I don't want to see Harry Maguire as a striker. No way. I mean, I'm always up for a bit of a laugh, but there is no way on earth I want to see Harry Maguire play as a striker. Not in a million years. Yeah, never. Just having a look. What's going on here? Yeah, there's nothing going on there. I've got Fabrizio on my phone, on my notifications. So every time my phone vibrates, I get all excited thinking that we're going to get the Here We Go, but we haven't got it yet. Right, I'm going to read out a few of your questions really, really quickly. Let's have a look. Somebody's saying an update on Onana. We have spoke about Onana a couple of times on the show already. The story coming out about Onana is that ultimately the clubs have agreed the fee now, 50 million euros, which is 43 million pounds. And the only thing left to do is for Manchester United to sign the contract on personal terms with the player. So they are saying that they expect him to fly into Manchester either Sunday or Monday. So I would hope that we will see him in the shirt by probably Tuesday at the latest, doing his medical on Monday, potentially. As Kerwin says, it's probably looking more like Monday. Manchester United don't like putting stuff out on the weekends for some reason. I don't know why. They never have. 99% of the time when we announce a signing, it's always on a kind of Monday or a Sunday. A Monday. It's always in the week is my point. It's in the working week. That's when they usually do their announcements. They don't usually do them on the weekdays. I don't know whether that's because their staff don't work on the weekend. You know, the marketing staff, the photo people. I don't really know what the gist of it is, but I think it will end up being like Monday. We might get the here we go tonight or tomorrow, but we won't see him in a shirt until probably Monday or Tuesday, guys. So we just got to be patient. As long as he gets on that preseason tour to America, at this point, I've kind of gone past caring. Like, I obviously want to see it. I want to see the here we go, and I'll be excited. But generally, I don't really care anymore because I think I'm almost certain it's going to happen. Harris says, the here we go will be at 1 a.m. UK time. Trust me. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to bed tonight. I'm not staying up all night waiting for a here we go. So if the here we go does come at 1 a.m. this morning, guys, unfortunately, I will not be here with you to celebrate that moment. But I would almost say definitely it will not happen at 1 a.m. in the morning. I think it will happen. You know, in reasonable hours. You got to remember, Fabrizio is Italian, so they're an hour ahead of the UK. So 1 a.m. UK time is 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Italy time. Do you reckon this is a good question? Actually, we're getting sidetracked here, but I think it's quite a good question. Do you think Fabrizio Romano sleeps? Let me know in the comments section. Do you think Fabrizio Romano sleeps? I don't think he does, because I remember hearing him say on a video that apparently he still does all of his Twitter himself. Like, he doesn't have somebody else doing it for him. All of the tweets you see are Fabrizio himself. So I don't reckon he does sleep. I reckon he must just stay up. Like, maybe he sleeps like 1 or 2 hours a day. I mean, it's mad, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Like, fair play to him. This is a great question again. Kelvin, you've contributed with loads of great questions today, so thank you for that. Kelvin says, who is your captain for next season? As always, I will echo that back to the community, so do let me know in the chat who is your preferred captain for next season. I'm going for Bruno Fernandes, but I would also happily have either Lisandro Martinez or Casemiro, or maybe even Luke Shaw, just for argument's sake. Matthew says Fabrizio sleeps for like 10 minutes. Yeah, he must do. Maybe Fabrizio Romano is some sort of robot, guys. I mean, how does he do it? I know this isn't a Fabrizio Romano channel, but fair play to him. Like, he works hard, that guy. Lumen says, Kieran, will Erik ten Hag go to the airport to welcome Onana? I don't think so, to be completely honest with you. He probably doesn't. I don't think he will go to the airport, but maybe he will. I'm sure he'll meet him at Carrington, and you'll see pictures of him shaking his hand at Carrington and all the rest of it. But I don't think Erik ten Hag will be going to pick him up from the airport, to be completely honest with you. Right, we've got 5 minutes left of the video, guys, so please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already, and please do subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost any money, it's completely free. And if you guys do want to join the members club, I think it's $2.99 a month. Really does support the channel. Then you can just hit the $sign or follow the link in the chat that I just put in there. Right, what have we got? Let's rattle through the last few stories that we've got for this evening's show. I am still hoping we get, there's loads of people on Twitter saying, where's the here we go Fabrizio? Where is it? Come on. Because he did say it was going to be yesterday, didn't he? So he is probably feeling a little bit like, he obviously got that information from somebody, didn't he? Fabrizio said on Thursday the here we go will be on Friday, and it hasn't happened. So everybody's like, Fabrizio, what's going on? Where's the here we go? Tell me. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, it's not Fabrizio's job to do the transfers. If it's if it's been delayed, then that's not really his fault, is it? Right, where are we? We've got 2 minutes left of the video, guys, so I've got one or two more things to get through really, really quickly, and then we will, of course, be wrapping it up. There's a story around the centre-back situation that I wanted to bring into you. We did speak about this player the other day, but there is some more news about it. Axel Disasi from Monaco. There's a story coming out from Pletagol earlier on today saying Manchester United are exploring a deal for Axel Disasi, but Manchester United have to sell players first. Maguire, in brackets. Newcastle are currently leading the race. So it looks like Axel Disasi is our number one target as a centre-back option, but is dependent on Maguire or another centre-back leaving. So, yeah. And Newcastle are apparently really, really keen on this Axel Disasi, who I've had mixed reviews about. I'm not too sure about him, to be completely honest with you. Do let me know in the comment section. I don't watch that much of Italian football, to be completely... French football. But from what I've heard and what I've seen, I'm not that excited about him. So I personally wouldn't bother with him, but obviously we trust Ten Hag. Irvin says, what is your full-time job, Kieran? So my full-time job is I work in the music industry. I work in the music industry. So, yeah. I was going to say it's kind of similar to this, but it's not similar to this at all. I run my own record label in music industry. So I put out music pretty much. I release artists' music and that's my job. Right, I'm going to wrap up the video here, guys. It's been an absolutely incredible stream, as always. We've had some great conversation, as always. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you so much for all the comments. I really do enjoy speaking to you guys, both at 8 a.m. UK time and 6 p.m. UK time every single day. I really, really enjoy it, guys. So big ups to everybody. Anybody who's new, I do hope you've enjoyed the show today. Please do make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you haven't liked the video yet, guys, please do smash a like on the video on your way out. It costs no money and it really helps the channel. We will, of course, be back at 8 a.m. UK time tomorrow morning for another 1 hour long show. If anything breaks between then and now, if we get the Here We Go from Fabrizio, of course, we will go live. So do make sure you hit that notification bell, because I can't wait to get Onana out of my system. I can't wait to sing that bloody song. Excuse my language, but I can't wait to sing that song and then to just be actually talking about how excited we are to see him play, because I don't want any more sleepless nights thinking, when are we going to get this Here We Go? I just want the Here We Go and to move on. But anyway, guys, amazing stream as always. I'll catch you guys at 8 a.m. UK time tomorrow. If anything breaks before,